I'm Mark Donovan, Director of Commercial Applications for Audio-Technica US. Today I wanted to go into a little bit of an overview on our ATND1061 DAN ceiling array. Now this is a beam-forming ceiling array, of which there are many of them out there, but we kind of operate a little bit differently. There's a few things that we decided to do differently to address the needs, the actual applications that are in the field. Now one is the most obvious. You can kind of see this here, is it's a lot different size than what you're going to find from some of our competitors. This is only 9 inches square. It's about 1.5 inches deep, so it's a much smaller piece. And the reason that we did that is because we found that under a lot of circumstances, such as suspending it in an open ceiling, or where you have to bring it down because the ceiling is very high, those situations is a little bit awkward, or gets more awkward the larger your device is. So this is a lot easier to deal with for those applications. Also, there are some ceilings that we've run into, architectural ceilings, where you just couldn't put one of these larger devices in. It wouldn't look right. And we all know that, you know, it's got to look right for those interior designers, and a lot of time they really like this small footprint. But don't let the small footprint fool you. Its coverage area is still the same as what you're going to find from our major competitors. This thing has a 5-meter radius that it's able to pick up, 16.4 foot radius. So it's a very large area that you can pick up. And what's really nice is you can actually bring multiple devices together to cover those larger rooms. And as we're going to talk about in another video, there's a lot of powerful DSP in here that you can leverage to make a distributed DSP using as many as 20 of these microphones if you wish. Now, the strength in this lies, as in any beamforming, is being able to tell where a voice is coming from and being able to track that individual as they move about the room. Inside of this microphone, there are actually 6 different beams that can be created to track 6 individuals as they move throughout the room. And you can define the areas of the room that are permitted to be picked up, if you will. You can actually zone things off and say, I only want this beam to operate in this specific area. Or you can do a coverage beam across the whole space, and no matter how anybody's walking around, it's going to follow them. So this gives this thing a lot of power between the ability for your 6 beams and the DSP that's built in. But we also went a little bit further as far as what we do with that information, location data for where the person who is talking. And the most common application here, of course, is camera tracking, the ability to recall presets on a camera. And we provide that information actually a little bit more so than in some other cases out there. Most of the time, what you'll find is people will be just taking the data, the positional data, strictly off of the beam, which in this case you get 6 beams, so 6 different points of positional data. But we actually went a step further to create a different kind of zone that is actually for camera presets. And these different zones, there's actually 15 of those. So you can really fine-tune these 15 different location points for that location data without having to sacrifice your audio. You won't have to compromise on how you set your audio up just to make sure that your video is working correctly. And to take that a step further, we actually are able to speak VSCA over IP, which if you don't know is about as close as you're going to come to a standard for pan-tilt zoom cameras. So our microphone is able to communicate directly with a number of pan-tilt zoom cameras that are out on the market without the need of any software that you have to pay for or licensing, without the need of any intermediary hardware or anything like that. Just strictly have the microphone on the same network as the camera, and you'll be able to tell it to recall presets to go to left side, right side, or however you want to do it. We're going to go into more detail on some of these things, the DSP, how the zones work, and of course camera preset recall in other videos. Now, speaking of that real briefly though, as far as integration with other systems go, integration with things like Crestron, things like QSYS, Symmetrics, that is all something that we actively work on so that we can be part of the whole system, not just a device in a box. So we have partnerships with all of these major manufacturers. We have open information about, you know, just what are the commands that are needed to change an LED or things like that. So all that information is open. The partnerships are in place, and this has been very successful for us for the last few years. So that's just a general overview of the ATND1061 DAN. And like I said, look forward to more detailed videos coming later. Thank you.